It is now 12:30. And we are going to have our special called council meeting for July the 17th of 2026 here in Bruceville-Eddy, Texas at City Hall. Notice is hereby given to the Bruceville-Eddy City Council. We'll conduct a meeting on Friday, July the 17th at 2026, beginning at 12:30 p.m. at the regular meeting place. This notice of meeting, given time, place, date, and subject was posted and described in the VTCA Government Code 551.041 for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. Meetings are available to watch on our YouTube channel. Search for the City of Bruceville-Eddy and click the subscribe button. Please mute your phones and computers so that it will not disturb our meeting for today. It's appreciated. Okay, as I said, this is a call to order to get everybody ready and in their seats. Excuse me. I just scarfed down my lunch, and so it's like, okay. All right. Let me know it was there. Pushing up the air now. All right. If y'all would please stand for our prayer. Good evening, Lord. We come to you this afternoon to say thank you for everything that you do for us and everything that you will be doing for us. Because we all know, Lord, that without you, we wouldn't exist. We would be in such a turmoil. But Lord God, we had parents that gave birth to us, but you gave us life. You put that first breath of air in us. So we thank you for that. Lord, I pray that you'll watch over our first responders, our city, our police department, our fire department, our city workers, and just thank you for all of them because they've been out this morning working wrecks. Thank the Lord that there was no one injured very bad, but thank you. And Lord, I just pray that you'll guide this council today while we talk about our budget. We're just going to be discussing this with our citizens and among the council to figure out what we're going to be doing. So Lord, I just ask that you be with all of us. I ask for all these things in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible. You may have a seat. All right. For our roll call, back at the back, we have Jamie Rodriguez from our water department. We have Sergeant Martinez from our police department. We have Renee Flores from our city secretary. We have Gene Stout from our water department, maintenance men in charge out there. And up here to my left, we have Councilman Wiggins. We have Councilman McGruer. We have our city administrator, Lawrence. And to my right, we have Councilwoman Melissa and Councilman Richard Prater and Councilman Jess Richardson. And of course, me. Hello. See, I almost had it right. I almost got there. I almost called you the judge again, but I stopped it.
I thought you were calling me Jesse.
Yeah. I'll get there. But anyway, thank y'all very much. And also, we have here today from our economic development. We have our president of that company here. Thank you for being here, sir. All right. Any community announcements? Do we have any at all coming up? I know, are we doing anything at the church this week? that you
Well,
know of?
We got,
Friday,
Friday, Bunko
Bunko,
Yeah.
this coming Friday at Bunko at 6:30
tonight,
tonight, yeah,
6:30 to
whenever it's over. It's really fun. Y'all need to come out and join us. I mean, you win a little gift and you get to, it's a lot of fun. It's just, I never had played it, and then I went there one day, and it's fun, you know? Even when you lose, it's fun. Of course, that's me, I lost, but it was still fun. Enjoyed it and everything, so, but anyway, we have that announcement, and this is June last, so we don't have anything coming up at the city that I know of. Richard, do you have anything at y'all's church, your mother-in-law's, or anything going on? Food bank, I know.
We're gonna have another, we don't have a date set, but I'm gonna have another, food drive, so.
Okay, good. Another food drive coming up. So just want to get those announcements out there. If anybody has anything for your church, for your citizens, for anything that you know of, just let us know. We'll be glad to announce it. Okay. Items for citizens' comments and reports. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter. To address the city council, please sign the speaker's card located on the table just inside the council chamber and deliver to the city secretary in the back. Before the meeting begins, please limit comments to 5 minutes. In accordance with the Open Meeting Act, council may not discuss or take action on any item that has been posted on the agenda. Okay, items for consideration. Do we have anybody that signed up? Nobody signed up, okay? I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Got one. Oh, okay. All right, Mrs. McLaughlin, and she said she, opposition of agenda item A. You want to wait till then, or, okay, she'll wait till that comes up, and then we'll call her up, just do her announcement, okay? Item 8, items for the consideration, discuss, take action on past or any of the following. A, council discuss, consider, and propose 2026-2026 budget and tax rate. That is number A, and so that's basically all we're going to be talking about today is our budget, what we have going. There will be no action taken on this item today. All we're doing is discussing it. We've already got one council member, or 2 council members that came up. One of them's already went line by line on his part, so all the rest of the council members, they have a chance to do their line by line, and then we'll figure out, you know, look at it and see if anybody agrees on any of it, and then we'll know what to do when we have our next meeting on our budget. Okay, so now, Joyce McLaughlin, you said you wanted to speak on this? No, let's go ahead. You're signed up to speak, so we're going to let you speak. I don't hear it, no ma'am. It's got to light up. You need somebody to do, got those long nails sometimes.
Button, there we go.
There we go.
I found the right button.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I just have some questions.
You might want to put that mic a little closer to your mouth. There you go.
I've been in all the city council meetings, and there was never a budget committee formed. And so I'm wondering why and who made that decision, because there needs to be oversight, budget oversight by the council, and there was none. And I'm wondering why that was allowed, who made that decision. That's one question I have. And does the city council have any knowledge as to how the city administrator, who is not a city managers do come up with budgets, but city administrators are high-level assistants to the mayor. They assist, and they do not manage. And so, do y'all know how he did this? Who was present? What was going on? Because there was no committee. Why there were no council members involved? Why, who was involved? Does the council or the mayor know how involved Esther was? Has anyone spoken with her? I mean, when there's not a committee, then there is no oversight or accountability concerning the budget. And so I just wonder why this year this changed, why this has changed. Because a lot of y'all you're having to wait and go through your budget line by line because there was no council, there was no committee, and no one there. And so you're having to take extra time and steps. And I just don't want what's going on in McGregor to go on here. Okay? There needs to be transparency, there needs to be accountability, there needs to be good oversight, especially when it comes to the city's money, because the city's money is our money. And so I'm just wondering why that was changed and who made that decision.
Can I answer this?
Okay. Is that,
Do you yield up your 5 minutes?
you
How many
yielding up
minutes?
the rest of it?
I'm not keeping time, so I don't know how
Okay.
many I
Well,
got.
you still got more little time left. The buzzer hadn't went off.
Well, I'll read the bottom part I put on here. I respectfully ask that next year, the mayor and the council insist that there be a budget committee in order to maintain the people's trust. Please do it that way. Thank you.
All right. Before Mr. Prater has something to say, we've had the budget committee for a few years, and it's always been the same person on this budget committee. And every time we try to get somebody else on this budget committee, it's always said that, they need somebody with experience, and they'll bring somebody in. Then we get somebody with experience, and then they keep telling us, why are y'all doing a budget committee when you got a city administrator and you got a financial director, and they are doing it, and then they just need to bring it all to the council. That way, one council member doesn't have the say-so to change anything on the budget until every council member has that same
Mayor,
opportunity.
May I make a recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we move on to the next item? Let's
Okay.
open it, and then let's continue this discussion.
All right, but Mr. Prater had something he wanted to say about that, about McGregor. And if you want to say something about McGregor, honey, you can, because, that was a slur.
This is the oversight. This is the committee. Instead of it being 2 people, it's now
Now it's all of
5
us.
people that sit and go line to line. Before, it was 2 people with the administrator and the financial person, and those 2 people went line for line. And then we got it at the end to go line to line. So we didn't have as much time as the other 2 people had with the committee. This is the oversight right here. We all sit down and we all go line to line now.
Ma'am, you need to wait till he gets through, ma'am. Okay, you gave your minutes up and sit down. Let him talk, okay? Thank you.
I don't really see how this is any harder than what it was with just 2 people. Now we all know what we're going on down from line to line, and we all get to put our 2 cents in during these meetings. This won't be the only meeting. This is just going over the first draft of what they put together. So the staff put all this together, and then they bring it to us, and then that's when we all, as 5, we call it a special call meeting, and then we get to sit down and we get to go line to line. I get to say, hey, I think we don't have enough money in here for that, or we got too much money allocated for this. And then Melissa, she gets to come in and
That's
go,
her 5
hey,
minutes
I
is
don't
fine,
think, I don't think we need that much money there. And then Justin gets to come in and he gets to say it. Instead of 2 people doing this, and then we got one meeting to come in and do it all and say what we want and what we don't. We got a couple meetings to go and we all get to put our 2 cents in, Bart. All 5 of us, instead of 2.
Linda?
So you tell me how you can get a committee together that's gonna make the decision that 5 should be making, but 2 get to make it, and then the other 3 come in afterwards with not as much time like the 2 gets to sit down with the financial director and the city administrator, and they get to go through all that. But the other 3, they only get to do it behind the bench when they bring that to this council. So now, all 5 of us get to sit down together and talk about it. Same process, but all 5 of us are in it. Put 5 heads together instead of 2. I think you got a
And
little bit better.
also, I want to say before Mr. McGrew says anything, the comment about what's going on in McGregor, that's McGregor, Texas. It has nothing to do with us here in Bruceville-Eddy. And so it's a public record now, and it's out on the thing that we have a citizen, a plain citizen that has just decided that wanted to throw McGregor in there on something that was going on that we have nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with us, so period. Mr. McGrew.
Okay, one of the issues that came to me as we went through our process, our prior process, is you have 2 council members drafting a budget that they're gonna vote on and approve. And that's like having a fox in the hen house. Okay, if you're gonna do it that way, then all of us should be involved in it, and it should be a fair access. That's what's open and available to the public, and not sitting in a room drafting a budget, and then coming out here and say, City Council, we did a good job, we made a good budget. It should be that the persons working on the budget are not the people that are going to eventually approve it. That's me.
Mr. Wiggins, you had a question or a statement?
Maybe I'll get this mic on.
There you go.
Okay. Well, as most of you know on here, in the past couple of years, I believe it was decided, and actually it was motioned by the council, made to appoint myself and Mr. McGrew for a budget committee, which was recommended by the city administrator and also the mayor at that time. And what we did is Mr. McGrew, myself, and the finance director, and the mayor, and the city secretary, and then we'd bring in the department heads whenever we got to their department. And we worked on it and went through it, and then, once we got it all worked out, well, we plugged in all the numbers and give that to the whole council and had a workshop, at which time that those council members could have, just like now, they could go line item by line item and look and do the same thing, say, well, what about this or what about that? You know, the difference in, like today is, and we don't have our finance director involved, because she's out, so that's, you know, no,
Due to illness.
not, yeah, we're due to her family. But anyway, she can't be here, so that's very important to have your finance director here, because that's her job. I mean, that's what they know. They know the finances more than Esther knows these finances more than anybody up here. Yeah, so we really need Esther involved. But just to give you a little history about why we done it in the past, and it seemed like it worked, and all the council members at that time voted to do it like that. So anyway, and each one has the opportunity to go line item by line item. They always have, and say something during the council member meeting. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor, I have something I'd like to say, but before we do that, I really recommend it'd be more appropriate, we open up the next
ahead and go to
item,
the next item
and then
then.
we continue this discussion.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll go to the next item. All right. Our next item is Well, there is no next item.
Yeah, we just, should we, it's gonna be, it's A, did we read A? Oh, right.
That's what we're
Oh, wait,
working
it's already
on.
open. So,
Yeah, that's what we're
okay, I
working on.
apologize. We're done with public, are we done with public comments? If we're done with public comments?
Yes, okay. Ms. Wiggins, if you would like to step up and say something. That's okay. I know who you are.
Somebody else threw you off. I thought we didn't.
No, that's okay. No, we were still.
Oh,
No, it just,
Okay,
so
well, I
they
just
can
wanted
keep
her to know
record.
that I didn't have
No,
one.
no, it's
I-
fine. They just do it for record. That's all
Okay.
they keep it for.
I just have one comment, if I can respectfully ask the council next time to make this at a more convenient time for the public on a Friday at lunch. I mean,
Yeah.
or at 12:30. It is a little inconvenient, so maybe next time we can think about that for the public. I had several people tell me that, they work, and so,
Yes, ma'am.
anyway, that's all.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could just have like, if we do it like early, like a workshop, and then when we decide, make sure, then we put it on the agenda for everybody to come here at a later time. Yes, ma'am, thank you. Okay, Ms. McLaughlin, you have something else to say?
Well, I'm glad you explained the process. That's what the questions were for, to get the answers. So thank you for explaining the process, the changes in the process, because the people didn't know. When I read what was on the agenda, looked at the budget, I just knew what we'd been doing, not what the new, because it was never brought up in any council meeting. And as far as McGregor, we need to learn from the mistakes of other cities, not be blind to what went wrong there, so we don't make the same mistakes here and y'all get in trouble.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, again, I'm going to talk about McGregor. We are not McGregor, and McGregor is not City of Bruceville-Eddy. Our citizens don't live in McGregor. McGregor citizens doesn't live here. So what we do here has nothing to do with any other county, any other town, or any other council meeting. So I just wanted that to be on record. Okay. Now I'm ready for you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mayor, for handing me the start of this item. Appreciate all the public comments. I was gonna just make a little bit of, response to some of the things I heard. So, there is an ordinance on what my job duties are, and it is certainly to craft the budget. So that is part of my job, and I'm gonna do my job, or I'll have to answer for it. Other thing is, I see last year, this is from May of '25, establishment of the Budget Committee was put on the agenda. Council to discuss, consider, possibly take action, creation of a temporary Budget Committee. So, this is something you have to put on the agenda and get approved by council. Mr. Wiggins did come to my office and ask me about this, and I said, hey, if you want to put it on the agenda, let's put it on the agenda. I requested him multiple times. He didn't want to put it on the agenda. He also stated, let's do a noon meeting, so that's why we're doing noon. But today, again, is no action. It's no different than a workshop, and what we're doing today is no different than any municipality in Texas. I challenge you to go and find another municipality doing something different. So, with that, I guess we can begin our presentation.
All right, here we go. All right, go ahead. You got it on the
City
screen.
of Bruceville-Eddy fiscal year 26-27 general fund proposed budget. Here we go. So as I go through these slides, if the council has any questions, feel free to stop me and let's discuss as we go along. After today, we'll take everyone's notes and feedback, and we'll meet again in a future meeting to compile what was discussed and consented upon today as a council. All right, so this year we're showing a total revenue breakout of $1,559,780. So basically $1.5 million of revenues are anticipated to come in. What I'd like to tell council is that we have preliminary numbers right now. The county has sent us what they call preliminary tax values. We will get certified tax values in about another week. So these numbers may change just a little bit. but this is, you know, a good head start. And if they do change, it won't be by much. So this is kind of a breakout of where our revenues are coming from. You can see the bulk of our revenues are from other fees than property tax. This is a breakout of expenses. You can see the bulk of it goes to PD and administration, pretty close. Then following right behind that is the street and drainage department, then court, and then community development. This is our appraised taxable valuation history. So this year, these are the preliminary values for all properties in our jurisdiction, our city limits, for McLennan County and then also Falls County. Comes to 132 million taxable valuation. You can see that was an increase over the year before and an increase over the year before that. And again, once we get the certified tax rolls, these numbers may change a little bit, and it's our hopes we may be getting the certified tax rolls in a week or two. We're not quite sure when they're going to send it. It comes from the tax assessor. So this current budget that you guys have, whenever I emailed council now twice, budget worksheets, which is the in-code budget worksheet that you guys all have in hand, and then I also created a PowerPoint presentation, which we're looking at right now. They go hand in hand. What I'd like to say is I built this budget along with staff. We had meetings, emails, a lot of meetings with Esther. Between the two of us, we've all worked very hard to put this draft proposed budget together for council to consider. And we're very confident in presenting to you guys a good product. Work very closely with Esther, and I'm very familiar with everything that's in here. What I'd like to say is, you see where it's highlighted in yellow? These are the different tax rates that you can choose between, and really you can choose any number or value in between the three, really. NNR stands for no new revenue. What that means is it's a no tax rate. VAR stands for voter approved rate, meaning if you go above the VAR amount, it's possible that they can call an election. And then de minimis, it's a different value. It's where you can get above VAR if you're a small town, essentially, is the best way to put it. So those are the rates and the additional revenues that you can bring in. So what I'd like to tell everyone out in the community and also our council, and I'll let you guys know this in the emails that I sent out with the draft budget. The draft budget is built as an NNR, no new revenue, no tax increase. So that is what we're recommending this year, but again, it's up to the council what they want to do. But the draft budget is built as such. So if the council said, okay, we want to see how much more we can get without having an election called, well, you could see it right there. If you were to go up to the VAR amount, it changes from 43 cents to essentially 45 cents. You would bring in an additional $26,000. That's the allowable amount you can go up to without having like a petition for election, I think is how it goes. De minimis is the same thing. Since we're a small town, we will qualify actually to go up to 505. But that's not what staff's recommending. We built this as a no new revenue or no tax rate increase. This is a breakout of your tax entities currently. So you can see where our tax rate is right now. 47 cents, so I'll go back. This year's rate, we're proposing 43.9, so it's a little bit of a drop. This is a breakout of the budget that you guys have right now, the current budget worksheet.
Does everybody have a worksheet in front of them or anything? No? Okay.
What I wanted to point out was, you can see this is current budget right there in the yellow that we built, proposed. I'm transferring in $0 from reserves to get us to a surplus of $22,000 for this year's budget. The current budget that we're sitting in right now that was built last year with the subcommittee, they brought in $360,726 out of our reserves, out of our bank account, to then zero the budget. This is another breakout of the same thing, showing last year's budget versus this year's budget. There was a grand total of $1,023,152 brought out of reserves in order to balance the budget to zero. This year, we have surpluses in the general fund of $22,000 and surpluses in the water fund of $58,000, with transferring zero amount from our bank account. I will say the sewer fund, though, does have a negative amount. Reason for that is it's not online yet. Of course, we're trying to get that online as quickly as possible. We're working very hard at that. But the big difference why we're showing all this is I want to recommend to the council a different methodology than what we've been doing in the past. And you can see what that is highlighted in yellow at the bottom. I'm recommending we get away from the practice of pulling out of our reserves or our bank accounts in order to fund our budgets. You know, this year I'm going to recommend that we look at adjusting our water rates, but again, that's up to our city council. But if we do that, it'll get us away from depleting our accounts and actually being self-sufficient or self-sustaining. You know, right now it's not self-sustaining the way this is going. Talking with Esther, our finance director, again, I've been working very closely with her through this entire process. She believes that we have less than 5 months left of monies in the water fund to continue operating. We're about to overdraft. So in the current budget, what we do have installed right now is, right now y'all have been funding staff 1 to 1.5 match retirement with TMRS. I've heard from plenty of employees that want to bump that to the 2-to-1 match. Every city I work for has always been a 2-to-1 match. This is the first one that I've worked at that was a 1 to 1.5 match. But it will be a big morale booster if that's something we can do for the employees. It's one of the #1 things I heard from a lot of them. So with that, I built the budget with it, and that's what I'm being, transparent about with council. It's already built in, and again, we still have a surplus of $22,000. But that's the amount right there for bumping to 2-to-1 match. So if you decide not to do it, then obviously we would minus this $13,000 out of the budget, and you would add it back to your surplus. You would have a surplus of 35, correct. So that's kind of the idea of what we're looking at here. So going on, yes, sir?
Okay. One thing here, I think it'd be easier if I ask questions as we go along.
Sure.
Yeah, on that 2-to-1 retirement, that's the money the cost you have, that's based on the 3%. So if you did a 4%, that TMRS rate will change.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right. But you don't have what that rate would be down here?
Yeah, if council
Down
so,
there at the bottom.
yeah, if council so chose to do
No,
a
no,
yeah,
the
Yep.
TMRS rate,
Correct.
the cost to be different.
Correct.
Because see, that TMRS cost is based on 3%.
Uh-huh.
When you raise it, that's gonna raise your TMRS cost.
Yep. So that's why I have it broken out. That's okay. That's why I have it broken out between installed
Yeah.
and proposed budget, and then items for possible consideration.
You're right, but you just don't show the TMRS, the difference on the 4% down here for items for possible funding.
Yeah,
So you would have to add that to it.
right.
Right, okay.
So I think for a very quick fix on that, so if it's 1306, you would, if you wanted to go to 4, so you would divide this by 3. I think it would be around another 4,335 on top of your 13. So
Well,
I would think safely it's
But-
less than $20,000 if you wanted to go to a 4% and then know what the 2-to-1 match is. But at this current rate, that's not how we have the budget built. These are just options down here for council to
right,
discuss
but,
if they wanted to.
going forward, as we make adjustments to this, because we'll meet again, maybe we can have that figure down there.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna go-
Print out on the internet, it's not the same as this one.
Correct. So, Councilman Wiggins met with me yesterday, and we took the entire day going through some things. And so I had a lot of homework to work on this morning, so I created some more updates, but this latest draft will go up.
Yeah, I don't have the updates.
That's
either.
right, I will email it out to everyone. I just literally got done with it 10 minutes before I walked in here.
Okay.
So,
That's all.
3 to 1% COLA increase. The $15,000, that's already built into the budget to give everyone a 3% increase. That excludes me. I'm not getting an increase this year. This is the Texas Health Benefits Pool. There's no change. This is what it cost last year, just showing the total amount. And then the no new revenue, no new revenue. The uniforms, this is something I was going to talk to council about, and I guess this might be the opportunity. This number it's a rough number. I didn't have time to call our uniform people, but looking at what they had online, I'd like to go ahead and get everyone, all staff, 4 shirts, and then also council a shirt with a logo. The reason why I have it on here as such is because I've been seeing a lot of different logos and a lot of different looks, and it'd be nice if council so decided, let's pick a logo and run with it so we all look uniform. And that way then the public knows who we are whenever, let's say Public Works or whomever's entering their property, code enforcement, whatever. We all know that this is a legit person with the correct uniform and the logo, right? Not these multiple different looks that we have going on. It's hard to tell who's who. So just to let you guys know, I did talk it over with staff, what kind of logo they were interested in. And it seems, and it surprised me, it seems like the people, our staff, want to keep with just the city, just the city of Bruceville-Eddy. I asked about the BE, the branded. They don't want it.
They just want Bruceville.
They want the standard font, no special font, just a standard kind of vanilla look in the city of Bruceville-Eddy. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, if they do that, I'd recommend we just keep it all lowercase or something. I don't know. But wanted to know you guys' thoughts. We don't have to maybe figure it out right now, but if you did want to talk about it, we can. And if you do like this idea, I'd like to just all get a shirt so we all kind of look the same. So when we go to functions, we all, are kind of matching and got a little pride in what we're doing. And I know we got a lot of pride here, but just trying to, do a little branding effort. Is there any thoughts on the logo? Anyone?
City of Bruceville-Eddy's fine with me. I mean, as far as the logo.
Okay.
City of Bruceville-Eddy.
We're good with the wording? Okay. I like the wording too. All right. I just wanted to make sure we're good with something before we made an order. I do like just the standard wording. Yeah. Okay. All right. So those items are already built into the existing proposed draft budget. And again, we have $22,000 left over in reserve or surplus. Not reserve, surplus. Another item for consideration, just so you guys are aware, not that I'm recommending it, but I'm more or less bringing you guys up to speed on something. This Bell Electronics for almost 12 grand. We learned that we don't have the capability here to do Zoom meetings. Basically, like other cities I was at, I don't know if you guys want to do this or not, but current rate that we're at right now, we can't have someone Zoom in and have a discussion with them. So I talked to this group, what would it take for us to get the infrastructure and software that we need to have someone Zoom in, and this is the price. So essentially what you would get, yes sir, is the person would be on the screen, we would see their visual, and then they can hear us talk through the mic, talking to them, asking them questions, and we would be able to hear them with their responses through their mic back over the intercom. So interfacing literally with someone through a Zoom meeting. Right now, we don't have that capability in here, so that's what that is. Yes, sir?
You pretty much answered my question. I was going to make sure we're talking about. So this item right here is to have Zoom capabilities in this council room, right?
Correct, yeah, because right now you don't have the way to interface. If someone wanted to Zoom in from across the country, we don't really have a way to do it in the middle of a meeting like right now.
And it would only pick one at a time. It wouldn't let everybody just talk at once, right? It would just pick one person at a time, so it wouldn't be real confusing and a lot of...
What I would suggest, like let's say we're Zooming with one person or two person, it would be whoever is speaking, we would hear them over our speakers in here.
Oh, if they wanted to address...
Most of the time, whoever's running it can mute their
Oh,
person.
okay.
Yeah.
So only
I'm
one
just-
person.
I'm just thinking, because
Yeah.
sometimes I know everybody here gets to talking one time, it's like,
And here's the other caveat. So we need for our mics to work where they can hear us and when we hear them. But then also it all has to go on YouTube, right? That person. So that's the electronic costs to make all that function work. Any other questions? Okay. And then let's see, lastly, capital improvement plan. I just wanted to point out, I added that into our budget, but no money's in it. Making a distinguishing between operation and maintenance and capital improvement. Capital improvement is a one-time large purchase, whereas an operation maintenance is a routine budget item that we need every year. So I just added that in, so if we wanted to buy the big ticket item, it'll go there to break out and not be mixed in. Okay, so this is a look at some requested changes. Staff has gotten back with me and requested $2,750 be added back in to the budget, and you can see where that is up top. Gene's requesting another $750 into that line item right there, and then Chief's requesting another $1,000 into that line item and that line item, bringing us to the total of $2,750 to be added back in. If you guys agreed, it would change the draft budget to having a surplus of $19,250. And I would recommend giving them those request items that they requested on top of our draft budget. Yesterday, Councilman Wiggins came by, and also Councilman Prater, and we went through some of the questions that Councilman Wiggins had, and also Councilman Prater. We basically did some budget review. Councilman Wiggins had the following requests. He would like to, for the revenues section, add some monies in there, and then decrease some monies there for the revenues. And then for the expenses, this is all in the general fund. These are all the different expense items he'd like to adjust. If the council so chose to go ahead and fund everything that Councilman Wiggins is requesting, like carte blanche, the entire thing on the screen, all of it, staff and Councilman Wiggins, you would have, the general fund would still have a surplus of $2,670 with the no tax increase.
but y'all, everybody has their own line-by-line items that they want to work with. So you don't have to accept what one person does.
I'll keep going, but if there's anything you guys want me to back up on and talk more on, or whatever you want to talk about, just let me.
I'll get copies of this.
Yes,
We're gonna
I will.
get-
I
okay.
will email it. Sorry, I just finished it right before this meeting. Added some stuff in.
Yeah,
Yep.
y'all can get a copy, y'all, and if anybody else has a list of stuff they want to do, then you give it to us, we can send everybody's list,
Mhm.
and then they can compare
Yeah.
and see.
Yes, sir.
On that, for that Zoom call stuff,
Yes, sir.
That's just-
in this budget?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
So right there, it says installed,
Proposal draft.
Okay.
and then down here it says proposed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's just a proposal, but it's not in there currently. So if you wanted to do it, basically, what you would do is, that's 11,000. You can see in green, we got 22,000 to the good. You'd say, all right, we'd minus 11 out of this 22, and we'll put it in.
I was just kinda hoping we'd not do that and be able to put that back in.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, just kind of so far as the format of the meeting, did we want to kind of stop after we get to the general fund and discuss all that?
Sure.
And then move to the I mean, this is up to
Yes.
the council and the mayor and everybody, but like, talk about the general fund, open it up to the public, to have our discussion then, rather than trying to go back and do it all at the end? Did
Yes,
you wanna
sir.
do it that way?
Yeah, I did build it to where there's an ending per se before we jump into water.
Okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
You got your budget up there instead of his, huh?
Oh.
Oh, I am so sorry, ma'am. Would you like to come to the speaker? And just tell us your name, is all we need.
Yeah, if you don't talk in the mic, it doesn't pick it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm Monique Sauer. I remember some time ago in one of our city council meetings, it was before you were here, Lawrence. We were talking about putting up a new sign for Bruceville-Eddy, and I don't know what happened to that, and I can't tell whether it's in the line items here to put into the budget.
That would be up to our economic development people.
Hi, Darren Weaver, Chair of the Economic Development Corporation. So the EDC is at a pause on highway monuments and signage coming into and out of the city because we're trying to get some commonality in fonts, logos, and slogans. In addition, we have a developer who's in the process of developing that is going to make a city sign as part of that proposal. So I'm smiling a little bit because I just had a text exchange with the brochure and advertising designer that we picked last night in the middle of the night, in which he said to me, I can't work with this logo. So I know we've talked about logo and slogan before, and you guys voted on it, and I didn't do anything beyond that. So the things that Lawrence is saying about logo, the things that my designer's independently saying about logo, this isn't just me trying to undermine what you guys voted on, right? This thing here, which I like, is a tech stock product, essentially. I was down in Robstown, and they're using the exact same thing on their freeway overpasses and stuff. So we kind of have to, before we go forward with signage, stationery, shirts, look, we need to get together, pick a logo, pick a slogan. The slogan's, you guys voted on the slogan, that's fine. But your own employees are telling you, for whatever reason, that the logo doesn't work for them, right? I'm curious, I have a question for y'all and everybody in the room. Does anybody remember when we adopted this logo? Who did it and when we did it? I don't know.
A long time ago.
It's a long time ago, right? So, to me personally, the logo's fine. I can work with it, but I'm just telling you what I'm hearing from you guys and the designers and everything. But anyway, summary. We have an effort on signage and highway promotional monuments. We have an effort ongoing on advertising and marketing materials. But font, logo, slogan is an issue. So what I told the designer in the middle of the night last night was, dream up another logo and I'll provide it to City Council, right? Because he's doing it this way and that way in the brochures, and he's like, and then he altered it a little bit, and I was like, look, just run with something. Give me 3 ideas. I'll present it to City Council.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so I appreciate the feedback from council and also staff that we kind of like the, as I want to describe, the vanilla style font of Bruceville-Eddy. So what I'll do is I'll try to work up some draft product for us to look at and then bring that back, and then maybe we can have some deeper discussion on that.
Yes, sir.
Right, and I'll share it with the EDC as well. Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting coming up.
I neglected to add a couple of things. This also applies to the water tower effort, right? This has come up in several EDC meetings about repainting the water tower. So Gene connected me with the water tower people that we're working with, and I hope we're going to talk about that particular issue in the budget here. But that person wants to know what we want on the water tower. Well, we got to figure that out, right?
Yeah.
So it's all part of the overall effort. And so I hope we're going to talk about that particular issue, the water towers and the water system. I can't remember what that effort was called. Who's going to pay for painting it? I've already got a bid for lighting it, but I don't have a bid yet for painting it because we need to know who's going to pay for the painting, and then that's got to be part of that budget and that effort. So if we're not going to go forward, I'll pause on that because you're going to talk about it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make some statements on it and not try to engage so we can keep rolling. But I was gonna give you an update on that. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, and then on one of the budget items here, if you go back to the more lengthy list, you have social media and you have internet somewhere, right?
On this?
Social platforms and advertising and notices. I thought we had a conversation that the EDC was gonna fund that.
Yeah, I did too.
The social platform, isn't that like our monthly training thing?
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
What
We need to
your-
rename it, because I've been confused over it the whole time, so.
Your question is about which line item?
Social media.
Social platforms,
Social-
advertising and notices.
Okay,
It's just,
those are just standard, we have to do a lot of mailers,
Okay.
for water notices and whatnot. And then a social thing is we do monthly lunches for the employees as a morale thing. And it's just labeled that way.
That's not,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not,
in today's
It's just
world,
worded-
social platforms mean something
yeah.
else.
What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't know.
It's Facebook, Instagram, InstaFace, TikTok, right? So,
Oh, okay. I don't know, I didn't name it that. It was like that before I was here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, yeah, okay.
We'll make it an EDC agenda item.
Yes, sir, thank you. Yeah, pull up the budget that you supposed.
I don't know if I have the worksheet. I just kind of have
Oh, okay.
this presentation. But yeah, thank you, Darren. I did get a cost from our tank people on doing that logo, and I'll have that on our next agenda for our discussion. And then in here, we do have that tank program also on here for discussion, but comprehensive and not just a logo. Okay. Any questions on Councilman Wiggins' request items or staff's request items?
Maybe later, they said.
All right, general fund, and this is a look at the bank account that Esther created. As you can see, we had a little bit of a drop, not too bad. Basically, we have an investment account, monies come out of the investment account and then go to it's basically an investment account checking account. It's the same thing, it just can write checks. And then it goes to our pooled cash, if you want to call it that, like how we actually operate our liquidity. There's a bank account out there that all funds are just coming in and out of. So basically what you're looking at, to sum it up, is Esther's pulling money from our investment accounts into the bank account.
And this is what you and Esther come up with right here.
Yep, Esther created this. Yep.
Good.
And it's not bad, just a little bit of a drop. There's expected to be a swing, right? As people pay their property taxes, which is always, January, you're going to get a large influx of cash and you'll see this thing go up, right? Because we don't get cash injections all year long. It's kind of a strange deal how our flows come in. But we do have other fees that fund, like franchise fees, they're quarterly paid and whatnot, and sales tax. Okay, so this is a look at our general fund checking account, our investment account, and then this is a look at 90-day emergency reserve, what we would need to operate. The thought behind that is, like, God forbid, a tornado touches down and we have no revenues at all coming in and we need to operate for 90 days. Can we do it? And that's the thought behind that. It looks like for the general fund, we can, so that's good news. One thing I will offer, though, is other cities I worked at made this a special reserve account. And we're not doing that here, but maybe one day we can look at doing that once we get our revenues a little more situated. This is an organizational chart, pretty much the same one from last year. But this is just showing you the positions that are being funded within the budget and the hierarchy, or basically what we call the chain of command. As you can see, underneath mayor and council's me. I take my directives from mayor and council, and then below me are all the staff people who take my directives, and that's what we call the chain of command. So that way, informations and directives are flowing in the correct order, and we don't have chaos. This, I wanted to share with council. I think you guys have been adopting by resolution all of our holidays, but I find it easier just to throw it within the budget because it absolutely fits in a budget. These are days that you're saying the city agrees to pay staff to have a day off. So what I'm saying here is if we agree to the budget and we agree to the holidays as such, every time we adopt the budget, we adopt the holidays along with it. We don't need to do resolutions. So this year, there's no change. These are all the holidays that you guys have always, well, at least from last year, it's the same holidays that you guys approved from the last go-around, but just with the updated dates. All right, so this is that endpoint, Councilman Justin. This is the endpoint before we go into the water fund. This is kind of a point for us to have discussion and kind of give some direction on how you like things or what kind of changes you guys recommend. So that way, when we do come forward for our next meeting, which will be at, our standard time of 6 o'clock, probably on a Thursday, so we make it pretty routine. I don't know how far out, maybe 2 weeks or something like that, so that way everyone can kind of mull through this and give it some good thought. We'll take action, to adopt tax rate at that time. But for now, it's just a little bit of a kind of a council discussion on budget. And then also the request items. That CIP, again, stands for capital improvements, which there really wasn't. The only capital improvement that was being requested or proposed, not really requested, was the ability to do a Zoom meeting, because we don't have that ability. You guys don't decide to do it, it's no big deal. It's just we can't have a legit Zoom conference with someone as an agenda item. They'll have to come in. No big deal. O&M, again, is operation and maintenance, meaning it's a routine thing that's always in a budget because every year we need it, like vehicles, fuel, blah, 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 blah. Whereas capital improvement is a one-time purchase. So with that, I'll kind of sit back and
Any discussion? Anybody just want to discuss any of that? Okay, Mr. Wiggins?
Okay, one thing before we adopt the budget, we have to have a budget hearing. Is that correct? A budget hearing. Now, would you post it in the paper that, all right, the council will be voting on to adopt the budget, and then we'll have a public hearing? We did that last year. And
I don't think it's a law.
well, we do have some things we need to do.
Yeah.
The
No,
next
it is
go,
low.
we will have future meetings, believe me. Yeah, we have plenty of more meetings to come, yes.
right, I just want to make sure that everybody knew that before we adopt a budget, then we're going to have to post that, I believe, in the paper.
Post it.
And then, where everybody's aware of it, and then make them aware that, okay, we're going to have a public hearing on the budget, and give everybody the opportunity, and that way it lets them know that we'll be voting on it too.
Correct.
And I
Yep.
believe that's chapter
So, yes.
202 of the local government code.
Yeah, so in the future, we will have another meeting for proposed tax rate, and then we'll have another meeting for public hearing on tax rate. And again, if we decide to do no new revenue, no tax increase, as we have it built, you actually don't have to do the public hearing, where that's just a state law trying to give you a benefit or kind of like inkling of, hey, try doing no tax rate increases and we'll let y'all not do public hearings. But I'll recommend we still do the public hearing. And then adoption of, budget and tax rate. Yes, so there's plenty more
Okay.
agenda items that will have to be advertised and whatnot.
Okay.
All right.
We're
Anybody
actually-
else have a question? Yes, sir.
I'm looking at last year's. It looks like we're a little ahead of schedule because we didn't actually do the budget workshop last year till the first part of August.
That's
So we're
because we
actually
don't
gonna
have
have,
a committee.
with the public hearing, we'll actually have an additional meeting to talk about this as well.
Yeah, we have come along a lot quicker this year than we have been coming along because there's not a committee doing all this, stuff. We're letting the finance people and the city administrator get it together, and then we're bringing it to y'all. So that's why it's coming a little quicker, and so everybody can look at it instead of just two people. Yes, sir.
I want to come back to that Zoom.
Zoom?
Yeah, I think right now we're pinching pennies right now, and I think we've lived this long without. I
Without it?
don't remember a situation coming up where we needed a Zoom call in
Okay. Okay.
council.
I'm kind of with Mr. Prater on that.
I'm
Okay,
kind
I
of
hear you.
thinking maybe we can put that off another year or two.
Yep.
I have enough
I
of
think
them.
it would be useful, but if it's, if it's gonna take half of the surplus, basically half of
Yeah.
the surplus for one thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could probably wait on that.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
done.
And a lot of this too is, I want to bring it to you guys' attention that we didn't have this ability and here's a cost, you know.
All right, Mr. Wiggins has his hand up.
Okay, that Zoom call thing, was that specifically like, who was that specifically for? I mean, I just wasn't clear on that. Is that like anybody, like when we have a meeting, that if anybody wanted to call in, they could get up there, or was it for
Ye-
something different?
Correct.
Makes it for
Yeah, so,
presentations.
like, for example,
Presentations?
you're asking how the,
Okay.
as a bill, like electronics, the scope of work include, or?
No, like, if we had it, who would, in other words, just, would that be for just any citizen want to call in and then we talk at the meeting? Or is that just for like, what did you say, Ms. Owens?
Like presentation.
A presentation, somebody's going to do a presentation? Is that mainly what it's for?
Yeah, so if how it's seen in other cities and how we've done it is, yeah, there's like a TV screen up, kind of like what we have the projector. Let's say our auditors or a bond counsel can't come in because they're out of New York, right? That happens.
Okay,
They want to be able to give presentation, also have discussion with council, hear you guys, and then respond. We would be able to see them, just like on, when you use your phone and you're FaceTiming someone, it would be the same things like FaceTiming the person here while we
Right.
have an agenda item. Right now, we can't do that.
right. But it'd be limited to those people, yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
that's all. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
I could kind of see that, like, kind of out in executive session when we do the conference call with our attorney, something like that,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We do that for executive, and it's mainly, we're using a computer itself. It's got a mic and a camera on it, so we're able to sit it in front of our table, and we talk with the person there. But in here, we can't, it doesn't work, Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Wiggins has another.
Yeah, I would concur with Mr. Prater, believe Mr. Richardson about, we don't need that. I believe, reduce that.
Yeah, not right now, yeah.
Yep. And again, it's not in the proposed budget. It's just throwing out there if that's something you guys wanted to do. The math behind this is if you did want to do it, you would subtract the 11,000 from the 22,000.
22.
Yeah.
I'd rather, yeah, okay, sounds good. All right? Huh? Oh, I am so sorry, ma'am. I just don't see you when you raise your hand, and I keep looking at the audience, and you don't when my head's turned.
Monique Sauer. Okay, I'm trying to understand this. Did I hear you say that in 5 months you wouldn't have any more money?
No, we're talking about, that's when we get to, let's wait on the water budget, when we get down to the water.
Okay, so I can't ask a question.
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
you can ask a question, yes, ma'am, you
Yeah,
sure
right.
can.
I think what the mayor's saying is right now we're talking about the general fund. We also have water fund. We got a hotel fund. We got a sales tax fund. So water fund will be the next one, and that's the one that's dropping out.
Yep, that was the comment. The comment that was made
What's that?
was about the water fund, so I think he's just saying we're fixing to talk about that. So, because that's what the comment was made about, was the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of gave an overview earlier of all funds.
Yeah.
I got one step ahead of you. I
No,
No,
I
no,
did
you're
mention it.
fine.
I did
You're-
mention it,
you're-
but we're about to
it's
deep
fine.
dive in the water fund after this one.
Should I wait?
Sure.
No, yeah, you
That's
can
up to
wait,
you.
or you can say it now if you'd like, since
Okay,
it's on your
I was just trying
mind.
to get my mind straight.
Yeah.
In 5 months, you're broke, and the alternative is to increase the water bill per individual home, business in Eddy. And so I saw a total, but I was wondering if you had in mind an amount, like how much more it would be per person,
Yeah.
per business, or if it's just like a total
Yeah.
amount.
That's a
That-
great
that's-
question.
That's a good question.
All right, got a step ahead of you.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We'll go through that.
Yes, sir? Just need your name, sir.
I had the squad down here. So. Bear Haney, how y'all doing? So on the your Zoom offshore where I work, we have a similar. We used a similar projector, And for Teams meetings, so similar to Zoom, but we're always on Teams, which we just use an HDMI cable to our laptop. Is that an option, perhaps?
It's good. I tried that,
The
and
Teams meeting.
here's the thing: is if I turn it around, whoever's teamsing in can only see the audience.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if I turn it towards me, then I got a guy just staring me down, and he can't hear anything that council's saying. You know what I mean? They might
Gotcha.
say, "Sir," and it was. We tried it once. It was a disaster.
Well, I think we should have what all the other cities have.
Yeah,
So
'cause we
I'm with
do.
it. I'm for you. I think we should also up the water bill, and let's get our city council 3%. Why aren't you getting your 3%?
Oh, why I didn't?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, the council don't get 3%.
oh,
I still get my $12 a year no matter what.
because
Oh.
It was in his contract.
I have 3 kids and they're very expensive, and my wife. And,
It looks like
my-
you're doing a great
my-
job, that we even have a surplus compared to last year, so thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank
he's
you.
doing a fantastic
Thank you so much,
job.
Bear.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. What I'll add to is, just to bring this back, at this point, the only other changes we had requested were from staff. Chief and Gene want to add in $2,750 to 3 line items. That will bring your surplus down to $19,250 if council so decided. And then these are all Councilman Wiggins' requests. If you wanted to do all of them, that would bring your surplus down to $2,670, meaning you could fund everything that he's requesting and still have no.
$2,000.
Yep, you would still be good to the $2,000 range with not doing a tax rate increase. If you went over this, that's when you would be doing a tax rate increase.
All right, next, go ahead. I think they're ready. Next is water.
Okay, if there are any feedback on funding all of Councilman Wiggins' requests, or?
They're gonna,
Okay.
they said they wasn't gonna
Okay.
do anything until they looked at it and compared it.
Sure. We'll get you guys another email. What we'll do again is do that future meeting for, another talk and finalization. So, okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the water fund. This is a projection of water usage over here in the millions of gallons, and then the revenue that you're creating from that. Last time we did, I think, rate increases was in 2022. So that explains why, although you had less water usage here, you made almost just as much money. So you guys, that was a pretty good move back then. I don't know what happened. But that's just a little of a projection. This year I'm showing us to bring in 1.8 million with a usage of 100 and almost 60 million gallons. So we've got a pretty good sized water system for a size of town as we are. We feed a lot of people. This is a look at the water fund debt. We have a principal payment, interest payment, and then also same thing for the sewer. This is the principal payment and the interest payment. It's accounted for in the current budget. This is again another look at our budget at this moment. Just showing that this year, current budget, we are requesting $0 transferred in from reserves from the bank account, and we got a surplus of $58,605. Last year, or the current budget that we're sitting in today, we brought in $579,296 from reserves were transferred in to get you a balanced zero budget. This is the sewer fund, essentially the same thing, transferred in, is that 63,137 on the current budget to balance to zero. This year I'm recommending transferring, again, zero in from our reserves, and then we have a little bit of a deficit there $278,000, but I do recommend a different way to get that resolved instead of taking from reserves.
Yeah, we don't.
This is another look or breakout of all the transfers in. Current budget that we're sitting in today transferred all this money in to get a zero balance. This budget that we're talking about today, I'm recommending transferring in zero, and this is where we end up. And again, the note there at the bottom is recommending that we adjust water rates instead of coming from a depletion of reserves to address our issue here.
Because a lot of the money that we send out is through Blue Bonnet too.
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
And that's just for the people outside the city limits mainly.
That's correct, correct. This,
I didn't hear you, Mayor.
Oh, I said, most of we have a big budget every month, a big amount of money that we have to pay every month to Blue Bonnet. And mainly Blue Bonnet is only servicing the people outside the city limits of Bruceville-Eddy. And they're having, right now, they're paying the same rates as inside the city limits. They used to not, but then it was voted on by council before, because they said they had heard something that it was illegal, but it's not. It's not illegal to charge anybody outside the city limits more per gallon than you charge the citizens inside the town.
correct. Yeah, it looks like you guys made that change in 2012. You
Yeah,
used
they-
to have an outside rate.
Yeah, I wasn't, somebody else was mayor back then.
Yeah. So this is, I gave a water rate comparison. Did a lot of research to get you guys this information. As you can see right here, we just have one rate. Whether you live inside city limits or outside city limits, this is the cost for your meter. That's where it starts, and then from there, as you use water, it tacks on, right? But I wanted to show where we fit in comparison with our competitors. Blue represents inside water rate. That brown represents an outside city limit rate. So for example, in Lorena, if you live outside city limits, your bill starts at $103.38 before you even turn a tap on.
Before you even start, drink a glass. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's Marlin down here. So theirs starts at 90,000. I'm sorry, 90,000. Basically $91 before you turn the tap on. As you turn the tap on and the more you use it, this is just where you start. So we're looking good. You know, we're right here in the middle of the pack, and I think we're pretty competitive. And you guys have been sitting at this rate for a good while. Water bill rate. This is a look at 5,000 gallons of usage, kind of like a benchmark. So for two people at a house, typically it's about 5,000 gallons what they use, water and sewer. So this is kind of an example of like two people at their house, kind of an average. Let's see, Bruceville-Eddy, there we are right there. So for 5,000 gallons of usage, you should be around $60. And then again, these are the other cities with their outside city limit rates and how they differ. We were talking about Lorena. We'll keep picking on
Oh,
them.
my Lord, Urena, it's way out
Lorena.
there.
$125 if you live outside the city limits for two people.
I'm glad I don't live there.
If you live inside the city limits, it's $70. Now, I know the city manager out there. He's a great guy, and they're a great group. I think what it was is they had something similar to us. I think they had to do some large infrastructure project improvements out there, and it was, when you do these large capital costs, kind of like the sewer we're putting in now, the debt owners of that, which is the USDA, that's a federal agency, they mandate what your rates are. They kind of say, here's what you're going to charge to pay us back. So that's kind of what happens, you know, with the inflation and price of things today. This is a similar thing that we looked at earlier for the general fund, but now it's for the water fund. If within the water fund draft budget that I sent out to council that you guys have, what's already built in is taking the water side of things, our employees, taking them from 1 to 1.5 retirement match to 1 to 2 to 1 retirement match. That this is the added cost to take them to 1 to 2 match. It's a little over $5,000. The 3% COLAs for everyone, cost of living increases, comes to $8,729, and again, I'm not getting paid from that, it's everyone but me. And then Texas Health Benefits Pool, this is a cost for everyone's health insurance. That's the grand total cost. There's no increase this
No
year.
increase this year.
Yep, just wanted to show what the amount was. And then this is the Blue Bonnet water rate increase. Now, I put approximate because I did my best to calculate.
They're
I
fixing
think
to go up.
I think it could be more than this. It just depends on our usage. So I think this might be our, I want to call it minimum usage. But I think we may be closer to 100,000 with their increases that they're passing on to us. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
I also want to ask help from the public as we get into the hot summer months, when stuff starts dying down. If y'all notice something green out there, because we're bleeding water out on the ground. We're wasting a lot of money. So if the citizens can see a big green patchy spot and kind of turn it in, so that we can go out there and take a look at it, and that would help a lot on our waste of water. And I'm gonna make another post on Facebook here shortly when it starts getting a little more dead. I do it every year, so maybe we can get some of this water bleeding out on the ground.
Gene, do you want to yell out your cell phone number for everyone to write down?
Just get a hold of me, I'll
He
give it
says
to you.
no, he said call the city.
Make sure the people on Facebook can hear it. Come on into the mic.
You got a work order. You gotta call the water department and get a work order.
And y'all got my number, y'all can call me, I'll
And
turn
y'all
it
have
in.
mine also. And Mr. McGurus is out there.
Yeah, mine's out there.
All right, so if you wanted to give staff the 4% raise, and again, that wouldn't include me, that would be the cost. This is also our, well, before I go there, I kind of jumped ahead of myself. This stuff up here is built into the draft budget, right?
Yep.
And that gets us to a surplus of $58,604. That's using our current water rates. So, past that, if you wanted to give staff the 4% raise, that would be the cost. If you said, okay, we wanted to do that, then you would minus the 11 out of, well, actually, what you would do if you did that, just for example, since we already have this number up here, you'd minus this number and this number, and then take from there.
$3,000
Mhm.
more.
But so for the remaining items, these are the things that I'm kind of excited to talk to you guys about. This 10-year water tank maintenance program, this is something you guys did previous to me being here. I think Gene can fill you in on the bulk of this, but it's a 10-year maintenance plan. We didn't kick it off because I knew, Esther was telling me ever since the first day I started that we got problems with our water fund. But it took me this entire time to get this analysis together and then present it to you guys as such for me to really figure out what's going on with the project and everything else we've been having going on. I've worked 7 days of my off days to get us to this point. So, but now I've got a really good hold on it. We do have an issue in that water account, and Esther and I have been working together to figure out a fix, and I think we've got a good fix here. But it's ultimately always up to council what they want to do. There's so many different things that you can do, really. So before I go any further with the rest of the items there, I'll scroll to the next item just real quick. This is a look at that 10-year plan that we were just discussing. So you'll notice if you were to say, all right, let's do it, all right, well, there's 26, 27, right? Our new budget that starts October 1. Here's all the items that would occur, and here's your costs. So for the year, it's saying $73,206. So let me back up. You see it right there, right? So that would be we're doing the 26, 27 budget. So that's why it's there. But just remember, if we said we're moving forward, you kind of tied yourself onto the next year's budget there. You tie it onto the next year's budget after that, there. Next year's budget after that, there. So I just want you guys to see it. We do have some heavier costs coming down the lines of 215, and whatnot. But Gene, you want to give us a little more detail on this? You think that this is a good plan and something that needs to be done, right?
Well, the tanks are gonna have to be managed. We're gonna need work on the elevated tanks. I've got pictures from 2 years ago of the ladders inside the tank deteriorating, the paint, So, yeah, we need to start somewhere and get the game plan going, so we get it done now before it gets worse.
Yeah. Mr. Wiggins?
Oh, Gene, when you talk about the elevated, I guess you're talking about that West Ridge elevated, that's the one that's saying exterior paint, steel repairs?
Correct.
Okay.
And then they will need some interior work later on down the line, I believe it was. Let me look.
Yeah, 28, 29, it shows
Right.
that.
So, yeah, I mean, and I've got, tank inspection reports from this company for last year, and then the previous company that we used. I've got pictures and everything in my office if anybody wants to look at them.
It took me a second.
If you want to explain that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Gene.
All right,
Okay.
I'll back up
All
here.
right, on this here where, he was talking about the 3% COLA increase. Okay, it's, right now, this is in our budget of 8,729. And, if we do the 4% increase, it's gonna be $11,638. That's only a increase of $3,000 for what it's already budgeted in. So that way, it's only $3,000 more if we go with 4% instead of 3%.
This is just in the water part.
Yeah, it would be like 55, yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any questions on that tank maintenance program? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
I think we sure need to do that.
Yes.
You know, our past administrator came up with this, and we all, at that time, the council agreed to it, and, you know, we need to do this ahead of time, and instead of waiting until it's broke, and then we have to fix it.
Correct.
So we take some action ahead of time, and I believe it's a good plan, and I believe we need to do it.
Okay.
Now, if you look at that chart, it does not say Friendly Oaks. It just says they're pressure tanks. It does not say they're ground tanks. So-
It's got no,
It just got
Friendly
the,
Oak pressure tanks, that's
correct.
Yeah, so
So-
I have it on here, Gene, it's right here.
Okay, you did get that
It's
email?
right
'Cause I
there,
didn't.
yep.
We're thinking about, whatever the cost would be to repair the two tanks, or let's get a cost to replace the two tanks. I think that's what he's got up there now.
Yeah, so if we, Gene's wanting to replace a tank out there, and these are the costs, so it would be on top of. So, let me back up. So this year, you're seeing where it shows 2627 costs of $20,000. I'll back up, because, these other ones are for future budgets, right? You'll see it right there, the $20,000.
Right.
So I'll go forward. If you wanted to replace the tank like Gene's wanting, and not recommending to do, and I recommend as well, we will have additional costs next year. Let's look at the budget after this. 275,000 would be on top of the 215. So next year we would have almost 500,000.
All right, what it's, right now, it is 1:53. We're gonna take a short break. We'll be back, about a 10-minute break. We should start back at 2:05. and we're gonna reconvene our council meeting for the budget. And we're gonna start where we left off with Mr. Lawrence, talking about in the water part of it. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
I know, I was waving him in and he just. Get there when he gets there.
Gene, are you feeling okay? I'm just, a while ago you looked real tired, it's from that truck wreck? No. Oh. That wasn't it? He's just tired. All right.
Sorry.
That's okay, here we go.
There we go. All right, so backing up, we discussed the tanks. Again, this would be our initial cost for $73,000, but just know if we started this, if we signed the contract to begin work, obviously we have our costs next year. Next year's amount goes to $215. That seems to be as high as it goes. But also, if we would have on next year's budget as well, $275. And then the budget after that, again, another $215 and $275, bringing you to roughly $500,000. And that would get you a brand new tank out there. And it's something Gene's recommending. And I recommend it as well. Geotech, if we wanted to do the tank next year, the brand new tank for Friendly Oaks, we have to do this geotech. It's the soils analysis. So this would be the prep work to approve now, so that way we can do a tank next year. A little bit of a side note, I did just get a text that our person building that building out there so thank you. Completed with that building. Thank you, Mayor. I forgot to turn on my mic. I apologize.
It's okay.
YouTube audience out there, but you didn't really miss anything. It's just recapping what we already talked about. All right. Moving on to our next item. We do need a sewer jetter. We are experiencing in the ground right now that we do have some pretty messy sewer mains is probably the lightest way I can put it. Yep, we don't have the full report back in hand yet. I'm hoping maybe next week we do, but it's not looking too good. But even if we did have the perfect sewer system, you have to have a sewer jetter. Yeah. There's going to be circumstances where you get plugs, just like at your house. Well, when your house gets plugged, guess where it goes? It goes into our system. So if you plug your house, I mean, how likely are you to plug our system when everyone's plugs are coming to us? We have a regulator called TCEQ, and they will absolutely make sure that we have a jetter if we decide not to get a jetter. We'll have a lot of fines and fees and headaches to eventually then be forced into buying a jetter. But it's something you have to do as routine, regular maintenance to operate the system.
Mr. Wiggins.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, on that sewer jetter, you're talking about how we have clogged up systems right now. Mm-hmm. And just to be clear, we don't have nobody operating on the sewer right now.
That is correct. Not one home is connected.
Okay, that's all.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This jetter, again, I was trying to be as economical as possible. It's used. This is about the price we need. I don't know if Gene's come up with anything different or if you're kind of fine with this.
I did contact the customer you got the other bid from out of Fort Worth, and they sent me a little bit bigger one for about $12,000 more, I believe.
Okay.
But it's a brand new one, cold water on a trailer. They would bring it down and do training and stuff. I don't know what the used one would cost us to get and where it's at.
What's the name brand?
And
then what's the
it's
gallon?
called the Big Daddy is what it's called, they
It's
said.
called the Big Daddy?
Yes.
And then you're saying Mr. Big Daddy would come over here and give us training?
Yes.
I'll tell you the name of the company here in just a second.
And that's new.
Texas Municipal Equipment out of Fort Worth.
Okay, and you said that was new.
That was a brand new one. It would be,
Perfect.
extra nozzles, it's 77,333.
If council so wants, maybe next time I'll get you guys more information via email, but next meeting also get you the specs on what he's got and what I got, and I would bet his is probably gonna be better, and, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
You really do wanna have a better jetter for operating a system, cause it's not worth the compliance issues.
Mr. Wiggins?
Okay, I would like for us to check into that and see about adding that on, you know, for another 17,000. I think it'd probably be worth it, brand new, and they come out and give you some training on it. So I would like
Yes,
to
sir.
add that on next time.
Yeah, I think that's what the council was talking about doing before the question.
He said, and also it's a diesel motor as opposed to the gas motor that he
They're
had
better.
quoted.
Diesel's better,
On-demand hot water, like an on-demand water heater.
yeah,
It's got a degreaser on demand.
yeah. Way to
So-
go, Gene. You and Lawrence need to work on that.
That
That's
has-
wonderful.
It
Thank
has
you
that
very much.
Massage chair. It's got that massage
Yeah,
chair.
it does.
Okay.
Just grab that hose and let's watch her run.
Thank you, Gene, for finding that for us. Thank you. All right. Yeah,
He sent me that email today. I can give him a call back
Yeah.
and just, touch
because
base
you know
with
how
him.
prices go up and down.
Yeah,
Yeah, get a price quote if you don't mind, we'll share that out with council. Sounds
got it
great.
right here.
Thank you so much, Gene.
Okay, send it to him.
I've already got a detailed price quote.
I'm glad you got
Thank
that, Gene,
you.
and it is a trailer mount, right?
Yes,
All right, cool. All right,
tandem
well,
axle.
what I'll say is the majority of the cities I work for, we always had trucks, but I think we'll do fine with a jetter. Hopefully, it's got the swivel mount and all the other features. I'm sure it does.
Okay.
I think we'll do fine. We got a really good team here that stays super busy, and they work very hard, and I got all confidence in them that they're going to do just fine with some good equipment. All right, so next we have on here Public Works request items at $16,700. Gene and team are requesting a couple different things. I'll try to give a very quick breakout on that.
So one of the items on that list too is probably for the sewer.
Yes.
Is that totaled in that price as well?
He's looking for a flow test kit at $585. That is for testing fire hydrants and their flow to make sure fire hydrants are actually operating. It's part of the INS or insurance for your home requirements to keep our home insurances lower for all the residents here, to make sure we have good working hydrants. We have a Hawk dissolved oxygen pH handheld meter. This is something we need for the wastewater treatment plant. It's $3,643. It's for our monitoring parameter requirements per the permit. We have to keep track of what the wastewater treatment plant's doing, and it's a probe that gives us these values that we have to report on to the TCEQ. We need the solutions for it. Those come to $200. The Hawk Parallel Analyzer is a handheld meter for, what is this test again, Gene?
For the water, Johnny said it would make it a lot easier because we have 10 back tees and samples that we have to do now. And we have to check those regularly every day, plus the wells. He said that would make it a lot easier to sample and get all of the numbers at one time instead of waiting for the free ammonia test and then the nitrate and residual. He can do it all at one time.
It does NAP too, right? Ammonia and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the reagents that go along with it, and then also what's included in there is a trailer for $6,000, almost $50. And this trailer's for what again, Gene?
We need a lawnmower trailer. That's pretty much what it is. Right now, we have the excavator on the trailer. If we have an issue, we need lawnmowers, we gotta unload the excavator, load lawnmowers on it, go mow, come back. Well, if we're out mowing and we got a leak, we gotta leave the mowers, go get the excavator, go fix a leak, if something small. would benefit, having that trailer dedicated just for the excavator instead of mowers and excavator.
Yeah.
How big is that trailer?
Do not know. I know went to the trailer place there off of 35, and I got the paperwork. Lawrence should have it.
Yeah, I'll look into it right now. Let's see. It is a model, it's a 2026 model, a 20X. It's from Flat Rock Ranch Supply.
Correct.
And it doesn't say anything besides a 20X model. I would assume that that means it's 20 foot.
20 foot.
It says, yeah, no, I apologize, it's at the bottom. 20 by 2 landscape trailer.
Yeah, it's 20 foot, 20X.
So I guess the 2 is what, the axle?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you got the single axle, we can save some money?
No, can't haul the escalator on
I
single
know,
axle.
I'm just joking.
I mean,
I'm joking.
I did have a price for a skid steer with a shredder type boom on it for
Oh.
trimming trees, but
That's
we can't
right.
get that this year.
I was gonna get into
Next
that.
year.
Gene wanted a $110,000 machine. I said, no,
Next
Gene, I don't
year.
like you. I'm not doing it. So,
Maybe next.
but no, yeah, I'm gonna recommend it next year because we do have some heavy hitting costs this year, and I think hopefully we can make it another year and then get you that machine next year is my hopes.
No, right. I
We've
understand
been
that.
trying to get
Yeah.
that thing
I'm just
for a
pushing
few
it out
years
there.
now. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. Mr. Prater has a question.
Gene, did you put in there for that underwater impact?
That was budgeted this year,
It was.
right?
Okay, so you
But
still got some in there?
I just want to get with Esther and make sure we got the funds to get it before I just go off and buy it.
How much-
Okay,
how much is it?
$2,000.
2,000? Nah, you should be able to get it. Yeah, it's no problem.
Well, I'll talk to Esther, clarify it,
Yeah, y'all
and
need
get
that.
it cleared up, because I don't
Okay.
need her coming after me because Lawrence
That's
said to buy
right.
it.
That's right. She might be little, but she carries a big stick.
Correct. She takes care of my payroll.
Yes, she does.
All right, so we talked about sewer jetter. I'm excited to see this new one that Gene found. I bet it's really good. So this is, again, we're in a section for items to propose for funding. Gene's requested items, okay. Next is, we had discussions about what would it take to do 2 fire hydrants a year. If we decided we wanted to fund 2 fire hydrants a year, we need roughly an $11,000 range to put 2 in. Gene and team would do the labor and services, but for the material, it gets you pretty close to 11. It's a little bit less than 11, but it's roughly 11.
Tell them.
Additionally, on top of that, what was
Not
this?
me.
Oh, it's Lawrence and his little, I think
Oh, it's your
something
it's
on
your button.
buzzer.
Oh, okay.
I think it.
Oh, okay.
It was your button, yeah.
Sorry. To cover sewer fund debt, I'm sorry, sewer fund deficit.
Deficit.
Yeah, we'll get to that here later, but there is a deficit in a sewer fund of $278,000. Now, the reason why that's going on is it's still not online. If it was online and making revenue, it would help. Would it be self-sufficient and self-funding? I'm not quite sure, but I think it would be probably a low cost if the water fund did have to cover it moving forward once it goes online 100% and we start building some homes. One of the reasons why we're projecting such a higher cost this year is we've been paying just, I think, interest payments so far at this point for the payback for that USDA loan. This year, this upcoming budget that we're creating, principal starts also getting applied, so the payments go a little bit higher. So if you subtract out the currently as budget is built, we're good to the $58,604. If you wanted to do all of these items, you would subtract out your $58,604 here, and this is what you would need to fund, right? We are short, if we wanted to do everything up there, $400,000. But obviously, if we didn't want to do a couple things, like if we wanted to get rid of doing fire hydrants, you would subtract the $11,000 out of here. So that would give you like $389,000. So that's the math. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Wiggins?
Okay. If we took out that 11,000, which I think we could take out, and then if we added that new jetter at 77,333, I believe is what he said. Okay, so
Almost take care
the
of that.
difference would be 17,333 from that 60,000. So, and then you subtract your surplus of 58,604, that's gonna give you 406,878.
And that's doing the 4%.
All right. So you,
No, that's 3%.
And you're just doing 3%.
you get a total
Yeah.
of what is it?
Yeah.
again?
406,878.
406,878.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I
And
did was,
if you did the 4%, that'd be 412.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good to know. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Richardson?
I have a question for Gene. You're over the fire, like, you do all the fire hydrants and everything. Is this something that we could reasonably put off for a year, or is this something like that's a priority sort of item?
No, a lot of times, if we run into somewhere where we got one that is hard to close and open, or it doesn't have an isolation valve to it, and we gotta shut everybody down to work on it, that's where we're at with that. But right now, it's not an emergency, it's just like something we would like to get implemented.
Oh, yeah.
So, if we can't get it this year, let's try to, after the sewer comes online and it quits taking all of my money for the water, then we can adjust and try to get it in.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Now, if it's an emergency, if somebody hits it, then of course their auto insurance should
Pay for
help
it,
pay to
yeah.
fix it.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
All right, very good. So, looking at this, you would say, okay, we need around the $400,000 range to do our projects, if you wanted to do all these projects and purchases, and cover sewer fund deficit. So, we'll move on. We looked at the tank program, what the additional tank cost would be on top of the 10-year program.
Yep.
Looking more at it. So again, just something to remember, this year it's looking like 400,000, but next year it'll be 500,000 if we decide to proceed. So that means we need to figure out our revenues for somewhere in that range, right? Between how are we going to collect 400 and 500,000. So this is another update on Councilman Ricky Wiggins' request for some expense budget line items. Yesterday we talked about a couple things. He recommended making some changes to these items, adding to the expenses of those line items to $56,500.
More.
Yeah. If you decided to proceed with these changes, you would have a surplus revenue change to 2,000. So I'll back up. Currently, your surplus right now and the draft budget's at 58. But if we made these changes to these line items here, increasing them from what's in a draft budget now to this increased amount here,
Take all the money.
that would get you to that. We're still good to the $2,100. Yes, sir.
Mr. Wiggins?
okay, as y'all can see on that, most of it comes from the attorney fees. We only had $25,000 budgeted, and I believe it was 57,000 and something already year-to-date spent. And we didn't have any in the sewer, under the attorneys, there was zero budgeted. And but we had 9,700 actual already. I said, well, you know, we're gonna have to have some more attorneys' expense for sewer and probably an additional amount for the water fund. So he recommended adding the 10 extra thousand that would have went under the sewer attorney to this water fund for that. So that's your bulk, is attorney fees. And as we all know up here, we've used them a lot. And they're not cheap, but you gotta have them. Anyway, that's all. Thank you.
All right, what else you got, Lawrence?
Okay, I'm gonna keep going here. Thank you. This is a look at the water fund. I think Ms. Moser was wanting to know a little bit about this, and we're getting into that part that she was interested in. But we can tell her to watch the video if she's not going to be here. So up here, you can see our balance and our investment. This is our water investment account. October of '25, we had $1,364,000. And you go down here to the bottom, where we're at today, we have an ending balance in our water investment account of $518,000. So it's quite a large drop in a very short amount of time, and that brings us back to where Esther, told me that she believes we have maybe about 5 months left of funds in this account before we go to a overdraft or a failure of the water funds. She said that she's going to have to pull out $100,000 out of this, what you're seeing now down here at the bottom, when she gets back next week to do some payments. So it'll automatically be 400, in the 400 range next week. So, yes, sir.
Mr. Wiggins?
Again, if you look at all the reasons why over there, you'll see, I mean, from October to June, we've taken out 980,000, and it shows why. And I believe he has it on another slide that shows the project cost history and projections of some things that we've done.
Yes,
Anyway, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll move on to the next. This is it, what you were talking about. So I wanted to figure out why we're dropping so bad. So, of course, what you got to do is, of course, just like your budget at home, right? All you can really do to fix your drop, just like your own budget, is how do I cut expenses? How do I increase revenue? Do I cancel my Netflix account and do I go get a second job? It's kind of the same thing. But I wanted to also look at what were all those heavy-hitting projects and things that we've been expensing on that to just cause such a large amount of drop. So I just wanted to create a list so y'all can kind of see a history of everything y'all have been doing. So we've got budgeted transfers in and then budgeted transfers in for those amounts. I think they're a little bit higher, as I showed in some previous slides. So that takes out of your reserves whenever you're doing budgets. Then on top of it is when we start with other expenses. Waste connections, I know we talked about this previously. The reason why we have costs with them is it's actually something, if you guys want to talk about it, we get 7 free roll-offs a year with Waste Connections. But we're doing monthly services, right, for the community. So that means we have 5 of them that we're coming out of pocket on. So, just something to think about if you did want to do the roll-offs for free for the community. One way to do it would be to do it bi-monthly and then pick that 1 month, for the additional month. That would be when the public uses it the most. I don't know if it'd be in the middle of the summer or, Christmas or something like that. But probably what we want to talk about is knowing that there's 5 we have to pay for. Should we go ahead and budget that, in our account, as a line item and make it regular? So just something to think about.
But we could also just change it to having just the free ones and not have it every month.
True. And then I think, I heard that the county or Lorena does it, so what we can do if we were smart, we would, if Lorena, for example, is doing it bi-monthly, then obviously we'd schedule ours alongside theirs, right? To be the other bi-monthly, so you can go to Lorena 1 month and then us 1 month, right?
Yeah.
Flip-flop.
Yes.
There might be an
No.
opportunity to do, right?
You could not do that.
Oh, you
won't
can't?
let you.
What is
You
it?
got, because I don't need Lorena citizens bringing trash here.
Oh,
You
okay.
gotta,
And
you gotta have a water bill
Lorena-
to get your trash.
But I thought I heard you can go over there. I don't really know. It's just what I
You
heard.
can do McLennan County,
Cleanup day.
county does a cleanup day like twice a year. But Lorena does not take trash. They take brush and they chip
okay.
it into their roll-off and
And
they
that's
have
all
it
they take.
disposed of.
Okay.
But they do
Don't
not
take
take
trash.
trash.
Okay, Mr. Richardson?
I just kind of like to discuss that right now. I mean, with the numbers we're looking at, I mean, it's $500 a month for the months we pay. I mean, I don't see cutting that, giving us enough of a benefit for what we would take away from our citizens. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Rader?
But we also talked about not taking brush in ours and maybe chipping it and giving it to the public, that if they wanted wood chips, we'd be able to give it to them. And that'd cut, taking some of our
If our
fill away from being in the dumpster, where it'd just be trash in the dumpster and the brush, we
As
can
long as the
chip
chipper's
it.
working.
Yeah, because we would have to chip it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yep.
All right, thank you.
And, yeah, we were talking about getting that chipper up and running, so that's something we can certainly do. It's a great idea. And leaves you the room for the other real trash. Let's see, so yep, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Also, Jim West offered, he runs a truck, Smash It, and he's told me a number of times that he would come out for free. He brings the truck home, so he can come down and smash that down so that we can fit more into the dumpster. And he said he'll do it free of cost. We just have to call him.
Instead of us using our
Look,
bucket.
he did come out last weekend
Yeah.
and used it. We weren't extremely busy, but we, it benefited. We normally use the backhoe to
Yeah.
pack it down.
But that thing really smashes it down there. It gives you some good room.
I mean, depends on what you get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right.
So we got 2 PUC cases at $150,000. One of them still ongoing, one's been dropped, so we're gonna continue with expenses with that. Falls County water line upgrade, you guys decided to put in that water line out there at $1 million. It's still there. 101,000 for Miracle Lane. And these are rough, right? I'm pretty sure there's more associated costs out there if you were to look into other line items. Old Bethany water line, 408,000. Cookwell land purchase, 71. Land survey title work, 7. MRB well design grant administration, 385,000. And hopefully we get that grant this year. I did budget in for us to receive it. Match for community development grant, 25,000. Encore electrical upgrade. So for our 4 lift stations and a wastewater treatment plant, we're gonna have $137,000, and those bills are gonna probably be rolling in pretty soon. I just got notice that Encore is finally finished. So those projects have just finished.
Now, is that just one-time cost, or is that every year?
I know this will be a one-time cost coming at us actually pretty soon.
Did we not give them some checks already for the lift
No,
stations?
we did talk about this at a council meeting and we approved to proceed, but we did not get the billing yet. I'm
Gotcha.
assuming we will get it now that the project's
Okay.
completed. Just got notice that it's completed. And, I mean, we discussed these projects back in like January.
Yeah.
I mean, they really took a long
I-
time, but that's how these projects have been going.
I think Esther did get a couple of bills because she asked me about them the other day,
Yeah,
and she had some bills in her hand.
yeah,
So they may be coming.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I knew I signed some checks. I thought it was for the electrical too.
All right, and then here's the big enchilada. So this is the water project, or a sewer project, I'm sorry. These are the original contract amounts that council agreed to, like, for example, Tabor Engineering, I mean, way back when it's all first sorted, you agreed to, let's start this project with him receiving his group $430,000. With all the change orders and where we're at today, currently they're up to receiving $1,192,000. for their group. Same thing if you go down with all the change ordering that's going on. You can see that BlackRock went from an original agreed amount to $7,351,000 to now they're at $8,620,000 today. Let's see, Sky Blue's going up about $200,000. Below them is our lift station people. They've gone up a little bit, about $100,000. Below them is our street guys. No, I'm sorry, that's the wastewater guys, the guys who did the plant. Looks like no change there, which is great. And then below them is our street guys. So what I'll say about them is it looks like we already have a change order in place with them. You can see it's going up already, but we haven't done any streets yet, right? So I'm anticipating whenever we get these guys here and begin work, we are going to see they already told me that there's going to be price escalations, meaning that the prices we agreed to, I don't know how long ago we originally signed contract with them, those prices have increased since then. So meaning if we wanted to stick with the same amount that we're going to still only pay you this amount, we're going to get lesser streets or narrower streets or however you want to do it, thinner streets. But none of that's going to happen. I think we're just going to have to discuss what the change orders are for price escalations. This is occurring because of the war with Iran. They told me straight up that prices of oil have increased, and that's what asphalt roads are. So whenever we get past repairing the mains that we're working on right now with the warranty work, we'll take a harder look at that and we'll get more information out on that as it approaches. But I do want to point out that 77% of our financing has been completed. You know, you kind of track financing and project completion at the same scope. So if we are at expense 77% of our financing, that means we have 33% of this project left to go. So it's my hopes that we can finish it. 23. Yeah, like, February, March, come the end. I would hope. I'm not throwing that out there for the public to ingest, though. That's for Tabor to figure out. I do want to show that there's been 2,357,920 added. If you were to say what's the big difference between the 17 million agreed to at the start of this project and us being at 19 million now. So we added 2,357,000 to this project. And again, we still have 33% of it still left to complete. 1 million of it was from the mediation, 1,250,000. The rest of it was from change orders. So I bring that up to let you guys know, I'm going to take these change orders in a different path. Instead of contractors and engineers saying, okay, here's a change order that we need done, I've already told them that I'd like to change to, we're going to do change requests, and it's basically I'm going to start giving them homework to do. You're not just going to request money out of us without we getting something for it. I want a full-page report on what this item is, and I need signatures from contractor, engineer, and council that we all agree to this, and then after that, then a change order can be processed. It kind of puts a little speed bump out there, and I don't know. The feedback wasn't too good, but it doesn't matter. I told them we're just going to do it. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay. Boy, I tell you what, if y'all notice on there, it's a lot of money spent, but we did a lot of things. The old Bethany project was a big thing. So was the Fall County water line project, and the Cook well, MRB well design, goes on and on there, which pretty much all of us, maybe not Melissa up here, agreed to and voted on. And then as far as that 23%, if you take 23% of that 19 million, it's about a little over $4.5 million extra that we'll have. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you
Nobody
for
else
that.
has any question? Okay, Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you for that. I was wondering where 23 came from. Now it makes sense. Yeah, not too good on my math on the fly. I'm a little burned out. I need a vacation. All right, so we have the water rate here. This is our existing water rate. What I want to point out is you have just one rate. We don't have a commercial rate. We don't have a residential rate. We don't have an outside the city limits rate. We don't have a rate for customers with a 3/8 meter versus a 1-inch versus a 2-inch versus a 5-inch, for industries. There's just one set rate right here. Now, when you go look at other cities, you'll see some variations. I did do a little digging into our past, and it looked like you guys in 2012 did have, at that time, outside the city limit rates and inside city limit rates, but you passed the ordinance saying we're just going to go to the one. So that's been in place, so we say around 2012, 13. It's been quite a while. So going back to what we were discussing earlier, we all know if we want to do what we know we should do this year, we need, this upcoming budget, we need $400,000. We know the following year after that, you're going to need more like $500,000. So how do we get those monies coming in? We got to think outside the box. These are just some things I'm proposing, but it's really up to council. There's so many different things we can do. One suggestion is changing the tier for inside city limit customers. Now, tier is not the rates, but tier is the gallons. Over here, you'll notice the tier is for every 2,000 gallons is a rate. What I did was I kept the same rate, but changed the tiers out to be thousands instead of every 2,000. So that's one adjustment for recommendation. Another one is to go back to creating outside the city limits, having its own tier. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just a food for thought for the council members that are looking over the items and stuff. We also gonna look at sewer. When sewer comes in, everybody's water bill's gonna go up anyway, except for the citizens outside of Bruceville-Eddy, So, my opinion was that if you didn't live inside the city limits, then your water bill, you should pay more like every place else. You should pay more for your water because we're having to buy it from Blue Bonnet. And I just feel like it should be more. If we go up on the gallons, what we're talking about of gallons of, and it's, when the sewer comes in, every time, if you use a gallon of water a day that you drink, and you flush your toilet, and that's 1,000 gallons of water, that's 2,000 gallons of water you're paying for. Just a FYI.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a food for thought, yes, sir, I know. Yes, sir. And it's just a food for thought, just letting, when y'all start working on y'all's line budgets. Gene?
So this tier increase or whatever, that's gonna cover the rate increase from Blue Bonnet also, correct? Because Blue Bonnet is fixing to hit us with a rate
Yeah.
increase.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm projecting we may have anywhere between an $87,000 increase to a $100,000 increase in our usage. And that was on a previous slide. But yes.
Right.
If you want me to back up, we can look at that.
No, I
okay.
seen it. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that it was covered
Oh.
in that rate increase
Right, because
with
Right.
Blue Bonnet.
Now, you got a good point. Whenever, other cities I work for, I'll tell you, we've always had outside the city limit rates. And there are always costs.
Businesses.
Yep, that's right. There's also a commercial rate. I've always had a commercial
Businesses.
rate. We don't have a commercial rate here either. But the outside the city limit rate was always set at cost and a half. What you can see here, what I built was a 30%, meaning could have went higher, but I just recommended for us to consider a 30%, and we'll take a look at where that lands, and it's up to the council what they want to do. But you're right, Gene, whenever we depend upon other wholesalers to provide us water to make up for our lack, so that way our system can supply the need that's majority outside of our city limits, we have no choice but to pass on that cost. We do the same thing with Waste Connections. Whenever they give us increases in the cans, in which you got commercial rates in there and all these other things, different tiers, we pass those costs on. The city doesn't eat it. We don't say, well, we're just gonna keep with the same rates and see what our reserves do. You know, we've kind of been doing that, and we've got to make a change. It's just, we did it for a long time, and it's just time to change. So anyway, what we have here is an existing customer at 5,000 gallons usage as an example. Their bill should be around the $60.41 range. If you were to adjust the tier inside city limits to the recommendation here as shown as proposed, their bill would roughly go up $5.58, right? And it could go a little higher because this is just the tier that I'm using. If they landed 4,000 to 5,000, that's going to be right here, right? But I mean, if they use 5,001, then they hit down here. You know, it just depends. Let me see. I'm trying to see what this is. Proposed rate adjust outside city limits. So this is for the outside the city limit adjustment. At 30% increase in rates and adjustment in tier, their bill would change to roughly the $13.50 range for them. So
If we do the 30%, could we also say that we need to also do that for business owners and commercial rates for the water too, because they do use a lot of water.
yeah. So this would apply to anyone inside city limits. This would, if you were to choose this would go for residents and commercial. And anyone outside city limits, residents and commercial would have this.
Okay.
We didn't create a special commercial rate in here. We just broke out inside
next
city
year.
and outside city limits. Now, one thing I want to point out is, please notice that this is where you start out, right? It's worth mentioning that we have 135 accounts that are no usage. They use no water, and this is their bill. It's always $39.38. Notice over here in our proposed tier adjustment and our rate adjustment for inside and outside, we did not make any adjustments to that meter base rate of $39.38. That's still up here. We are only talking about adjusting the tiers.
Okay.
Now with the 135 zero-use people, one thing that we will change is, notice I have starting 0 here and here. Your zero-use people will now automatically start paying the $39.38 plus $3.71.
Okay.
Your zero-use people outside city limits will have $39.38 plus $4.32.
That makes sense.
Right? One thing I want to mention to you guys is, this was the first community I worked for where we say, if you want to develop here, you need to go get a water meter feasibility study. With that policy, you're now saying technically you have a finite number of meters for this town that you will agree to allow build in these lots. Previous cities I worked at, we didn't have that. They just came in and did it. I don't know if TCEQ forced this on the city or not, why we're doing what we're doing. But when I first started, I always wondered why there were so many people coming in. I want a meter, I want a meter, I want a meter. And I'd always ask, well, aren't you submitting for a building permit? Are you going to build? No, I just want a meter. Why? You know? And that just never hit me until I figured out, oh, we have a meter feasibility study is step 1 here if you want to build. And then, MRB will study it. They'll study the capacity and the mains and tell you whether or not you can build on that land, because you may have to do a main capacity increase, right? You may have a large infrastructure capital improvement project on your hand to develop that lot, and that affects the value of your lot if you really think about it. Kind of like Horseshoe Bend, right? It's kind of a small line around there, and there's more lots we want to develop, but that line has to be increased. So that's why we have so many people coming forward saying, hurry up and get me that meter. I got to get it on my land now, right? And I don't know if they're going to build or not, but I would almost suggest we consider, having the meter be part of the building permit package. If you want a meter, then, I would like for it to be within that building permit package. And I talked to this about our PUC. Our PUC attorneys that I've been dealing with our 2 cases, I talked to them both, who are different attorneys, 2 different cases, about the same thing, and they both agreed that, yes, we need to update our policy. It is kind of leading to some of these issues, even dealing with what they're dealing with the PUC stuff. It's just kind of tightening some things up, or you may end up saying, again, we have a finite number of meters we're going to allow in this city, right? I mean, that's what it is. and you've got 135 no users at this point. Just some food for thought. Moving on to the next item. So going back to these tier adjustments. Sorry, I got off on the jag on that a little bit. Just things I'm discovering and want to share out with y'all as I'm figuring things out. If you did the proposed tier adjustment inside city limits, remember it makes an additional $5.58 on your average customer roughly. So if you did a calculation there on the people who are not zero users, this is what it comes to. This is the money you'd get. Here's the increase to your zero user customers. This would be your total. Down here, I have a listing of who are our total customers and who are zero users and who are inside and outside city limits. This is the breakout. So there's your total value. Over here is your proposed tier and rate adjustments. You can see, remember outside city limits, we said that we anticipate their bills going up $13.57. So you multiply that by your outside customers, and this is then your zero users, collecting that $4 on them. This is what it would come to annually. So when you look at kind of a rough estimate of these two put together annually of adjusting inside and outside city limit values, it comes to this grand total of, I think we can get around $270,000. And this is a conservative number. I think, again, these are rough estimates. I think we might be able to get a little bit more than some of these values. We could land somewhere in between $270,000 and $300,000. So going on to the next item, if there were additional revenues being sought, these are some other items for consideration for the council. If you did a $30 base meter rate adjustment to all accounts, 30% to all accounts, you would bring in another $300,000. So that would be $600,000. If you did 30% base meter rate just on outside city limits, because right now we are only adjusting tiers outside city limits, not meter, that would bring in an additional $200,000. If you did a flat rate, $5 increase, meter base rate to all accounts, that would bring in $126,000 annually, roughly. And if you did a $5 flat rate increase to meters outside city limits, that will bring in $84,000. So these are some ways to bring in additional monies. If we did the last item, we'll go back to it. We said we're going to bring in around, you can call it 300, right? Around there. But we just said earlier on our capital projects with the tanks, this year then this budget we're going to need $400,000. Next year we're going to need $500,000, right? So do we need to bring in additional revenues on top of that 300 shown here? These are some options. I did ask Esther what was her recommendation, and she said that she thought that we should go for adoption of both of these inside and outside city limit tier adjustments and rates adjustments. And she said to do the $5 flat rate to all accounts is what she suggested. So if you were to do that, you could probably bring in maybe, I'm going to $396, $150. So
Right at 400,000.
about 400,000. Okay.
Okay. Richard?
That's not including what we're gonna be having coming on, we're estimating 80 houses a year from Eagle Prairie.
That's
So
true.
That is not.
That's not factored into this, so
Exactly.
that'll be even more of an
More.
income.
Anytime somebody new comes in,
Yes, sir.
puts in a new one, it goes up.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for pointing that out. So we got 2,114 total accounts today, and that's where I'm getting my math. But you're right, the 80 would be added in here.
Yep.
Here's some other notes I wanted to point out to council on this side of the screen, just some food for thought. We own 150 miles of water main, and we're mandated to maintain it. You said it's more than 150 miles of main, right, Gene?
It's somewhere between 150 and
200. We got 200 miles of main. We have roughly 14 service connections per mile. It's pretty low. Number of customers being served, 2 in Bell County, 189 in Falls County. and 1,754 in McLennan County. Texas Water Development Board water audit report shows that we have $772,000 in total water loss. 1/3 of our water customers live inside the city limits at 706. 2/3 of our customers live in the outside city limits at 1,408. The city does not have a commercial rate, but it does have a commercial rate for its trash. Outside city limit customers do not pay property tax, and they will not be paying for a sewer bill. Blue Bonnet, they have passed on their increases to us, and it will be hitting us on this next budget. And I'm estimating anywhere between pretty close to 90,000 to 100,000, maybe more, just depends. And then our water sizes, our meters, we really have a lot of the smaller size meters, which is good, but we do have a couple of larger ones. We have 9 1-inch meters, 1 1.5-inch meter, 4 2-inch meters, and 2 3-inch meters out there in service with customers.
Don't they pay more for their stuff since it's a bigger meter?
No.
No, they pay the same rate.
Our meter costs more, though, right?
Yes, I do believe so. I think that the base meter read is different. Yep.
Yeah, Jamie's shaking her head, yes.
All
So I
right.
do have a,
Yes, sir.
so far as that water loss total, that's 772, kind of going towards addressing that now that our PD has a drone. Mr. Prater had a good idea to have Chief and Gene coordinate and have fly that, when it gets dead, fly that drone over those hard to walk areas, and your green spots are gonna be kind of good area to check. So I have reached out to Chief Dorsey and Gene about implementing Mr. Prater's
Martinez
idea.
loves to play that drum. We're happy to do it.
Yeah. So hopefully we can bring down that cost a little bit.
It's a great idea.
And asking for the community's help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So I don't know if there's any discussion, if you guys want to talk any more about the recommendations on how to bring in this additional money, or just keep on moving.
Just keep on moving or stop? What do y'all want to do? Keep on going, they said.
Okay, gotcha. And again, we got about 400,000 in costs for capital on this upcoming budget, and then 500 for the next one. So the idea is, all right, what rate do we pick now to kind of take care of all of it, so we don't have to keep adjusting this? We don't want to look at this every year, you know? So our water supply checking account, right now, it's at 146,000. The water supply investment account is at 518,000. Esther's already saying she's going to be drawing out $100,000 when she gets back, so that investment account should be at 418 when she gets back. And that's the one that she's saying that she thinks we got about 5 months left of monies in it. And then the 90-day emergency reserve amount we would need to run the water department is that figure that you see there, the 486.90. So I think we may be dropping into less than a 90-day reserve pretty soon.
I could turn the water off for 30 days ago.
Uh-huh.
All it is flip a switch.
I would make a joke about us not being a different city, but I don't want a bunch of people from there coming after me.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question, Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So far as that 90-day, I remember from last year's budget discussion, there's a mandated amount operating amount we have to keep in reserve, right? Is that the 90-day or is that a different number?
No, you're right. I think that's, the 90-day, I want to say it's tied back to some sort of law or recommendation. I can't remember, but I know a lot of cities do it. Most cities always have this on their budget, at least to show council where you're at. But the thing you're talking about is related to the USDA contract that we signed with them, that they want us to be a good steward, meaning that they want their money, and they want us to have some sort of reserve to guarantee that we're going to pay them.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what that value was. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Mr. Wiggins?
I believe our auditors, when they came and give a report, I believe they give us a percentage, the best I remember, of what, you should be keeping for reserves.
I
And,
believe that's correct.
yeah, and I don't remember what that was right now. I'd have to go back on that meeting, or maybe it'd be in their report, that little,
Suggested. I think it
Right.
was a suggested.
yeah.
Right.
I think it was suggested.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you. Let's see. I don't know why my computer's freezing up. I apologize. I hit next, and I got the little blue spinny guy. Come on. Wait for a program to respond. We're getting closer. It says slide
Yeah.
33 of 40, so we're getting there. I don't know why it froze up on me.
Okay, while we're waiting on that computer for you to do that.
Okay.
I have a suggestion to the council members that Lawrence and Esther are working really hard on the budgets. And I know every one of you would like to come in and sit down with Lawrence like they did last time for 6 hours and go one line to another so they could have their thing up on the screen. But my suggestion is please let them do it and all the council members hear it the first time all together. Then y'all can come up with y'all's one-on-one on yourselves and send it in. Because if he took 6 hours per council member, that's, 3,500, it'd be a lot of hours. He wouldn't have a week to work on the budget or to get things. That's why he was late getting some things out today because of the meeting of yesterday. So, yes, Mr. Wiggins, I knew it was coming.
Yeah, and what you're talking about is me.
Well, it's two of us, sir. It's
Well,
two of us.
I know it's two of us, but I called Lawrence ahead of time
Yes, sir.
and told him the day before, yesterday, and I told him that I had a lot of items that I wanted to go through. So I was giving him the opportunity to say, do you want to go through it ahead of time? Or we can wait till here at the meeting, it didn't matter to me, and that would prolong this meeting. And he said, no, come on in. And now, did we stick straight to the subject at hand? Did we ever get off subject? Yes. We got off subject talking about other things, city business, I mean. But, yes, no. So I did come up here.
Yes, sir.
And the intent was to reduce today's, that's why I did it, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had no problem with you coming up here. It's just that, everybody goes, well, why didn't we? I said, well, y'all could have called, but then I got thinking, okay, if they call and they want 6 hours, then this one calls and they want 6 hours, that's gonna take a lot of Lawrence's time. And he really needs to concentrate on this budget besides everything else he has to work on. I wasn't saying what you done was wrong. I'm just saying we got to let everybody have the same opportunity. So the best thing to do is not do it up here with him. Wait until everybody hears it at the same time. So that's my suggestion. And Lawrence has the right to go, no, I don't want to discuss that right now. And we have to take him at his word that he doesn't want to discuss it right now until the meeting, and we have to abide by that. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Yes, sir.
Thank
Did
you,
you ever
ma'am.
get to working?
Oh, yeah, it's back up. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
You're welcome, sir.
No, I'm certainly ready for a vacation. I'm burned
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I've been working hard on this. I've been coming in every day off, but we got it. I'll tell you guys, it's just I wanted to give you guys a good product. I wanted, when I first started, Esther was telling me very vocally, like, we've got problems. And honestly, she just didn't know. I mean, not to say she didn't know what to do, but just it takes a lot of effort to really dig through all this and get a grasp on what's been going on. And that's the point of showing you the history of all the things we've been doing and how can we do things a little differently. And, it takes a lot of effort, and we got it. So we'll move on to the next slide. Discussion, points, and direction. Draft budget. Sorry, I'm talking like a robot now. This is the point where we have discussion and get some direction. This is the point where we can talk about the draft proposed budget and the water rates, our reserve accounts that are dropping, and then the capital improvement projects, operation and maintenance items request. Does anyone have any feedback about the things that were presented here?
I don't. Nobody's hands up, so.
Okay, very good. And like I said, we will have another meeting. You know, if the counselors want to wait until that meeting, that's fine. Or if you want to reach out to me in between, that's fine too. Renee is printing, I think she printed what we're looking at today. Yeah, you can go ahead. Thank you. We were going to give it to you after the meeting, but it's good to go ahead and have it now, so that way you got it. This is that presentation that we're going through right now. It's similar to the one that I sent you guys previously, but I added some things in, and I just got done with it right before we started this meeting. The worksheet did not change. That last worksheet that was sent out, the same worksheet that's on the city website currently, that hasn't changed. So that goes along with this presentation, but we could print you that as well if you need. Just let us know, and we'll get you a printout of that as well. All right, well, if there's no other items to, yeah, go ahead.
This is not really directly related to the budget, but something, kind of get everybody's opinion up here and the people that are still in the audience. For next year, for our workshops, would y'all want to consider possibly breaking it up to where we have a workshop over the general fund and then a workshop over the water fund? Because, we're over 2.5 hours in, talking about numbers. I think some of our eyes are glazing over, or I'll be honest, my eyes are kind of glazing over at this point.
Yeah.
Just something to consider moving forward for next year, is kind of possibly break these up, like 1 week have this meeting, next week have that meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
Just something to think about.
Yeah, thank you for that. What I will say, to offer a little bit of relief to, so the rest of this is going to be very short. It's actually just, yeah. Yep. No, you're right. That was the bulk. And you know what? I'll tell you too. Next year will be different because I'm hoping that we figure out the water stuff this year with these rates, and next year I'm not going to be recommending all these different variations to consider. It should be just boom, boom, bam. I'm not hopefully going to be recommending we make any changes to the water rates next year. So that'll knock out a whole bunch of slides and having to show you the histories and all that. All that will be gone.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, I guess the only complaint I have is just kind of the length of focus.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that. I was thinking about getting you guys turkey sandwiches.
Lord.
Then you would have had that tryptophan going, and then I would have just been talking real robot-like, Okay, I'm gonna keep moving then.
All right.
If there's no other, anything else? These next ones will go very quick. This should be the end of the meeting, literally.
All right.
Okay. So this is our existing sewer rates, not recommending any change. This is what's already adopted, and this is the trash rates. I think I sent you guys an email out on that. One oopsie that staff made was you guys adopted these new trash rates.
Way back.
Yeah, in 2025, and the new costs did not get added in to what we're charging as citizens, but they will now. So that also would have caused some financial strain as well. But I'm not, this year, Waste Connections is not passing on an increase to us, which is great. So we don't need to make any adjustments to what you guys have previously adopted in 2025 that we were not collecting on, but will be collecting on. So you, again, may be seeing an increase on your, trash bills, but that should have happened many months ago because it's the old rates.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward. Next is Economic Development Fund,
Yep.
Street Maintenance, Repair, Special Use Fund, and Hot Fund, and then it's over.
Yep.
So this is what we're proposing for the Economic Development Fund. The sales tax, they're gonna get $49,917. Their bank account is at $93,434. Recommending, I did talk with Darren. I asked him if he and the EDC board would be interested in discussing funding the new city website and EDC website, and he said yes. So we will put it on the next EDC agenda for discussion to see if they do want to move forward. And if they do, what we'll do is we'll put it out for bid for the different websites, and we'll see what comes in for bid and then present back. But it's just very preliminary talks at this point, but they are interested in getting it going. Street Maintenance, Repair, Special Use Fund. The street maintenance, this special fund is what you're using sales tax for repair of streets. This year, we're proposing $49,917, so $50,000 to go into that special use fund. But I want to remind everyone, we already have $25,000 budgeted in the general fund this year. On the current budget, we didn't have any monies budgeted, but in the new budget, we will have 25 in the general fund, 49 in this special fund, giving you a grand total of $75,000 for addressing the streets. And Gene had to leave right when we get to that
Yeah,
part.
I know, bless his heart.
Yep. The bank account reserves for that is 81,000. And then the hotel occupancy tax, still don't have any hotels here, so still no monies. One thing I will offer you guys, just so you're aware, for the hot funds, you can, if the council decided we do want to collect hotel occupancy taxes from the Airbnbs outside of our city limits and our ETJ, you actually can do that. And I did check, we do have a couple Airbnbs in our ETJ. So we could be collecting from them if you so chose.
Yes, Mr. Wiggins?
Okay. I was trying to look, I thought you just said that we didn't have anything in our current budget for street repair.
Oh, yeah, let me back up to that. So
Yeah.
we, in this, the special use tax, you know, some of it from the sales tax goes to street maintenance, and then some of it goes to ED, and then some of it goes to the general fund as sales tax. It's split up. But in our general fund, we have budgeted right now $25,000.
Yeah, but
So-
in our street maintenance repair fund for the budget year, we had $60,000 budgeted in there, of which we used 24,719.
What is it? It's in the general fund?
No,
Yeah.
no,
No, it's
in the
for
street,
streets.
in the street repair fund.
Yeah,
So we
yes.
did have money in there for streets. We had
Yes.
60,000
Yes.
budgeted for streets.
Correct.
Yeah.
We used it down on that fixing Franklin a lot.
Franklin.
Yeah,
Yes.
we used
We used a lot
nearly
of it.
25,000 of it.
Correct.
60.
What I was trying to say, and maybe there was some confusion, I don't know if it may have been on my part. What I was trying to say was, you know, going back to, we have 25,000 budgeted in the general fund. So you got a grand total for Gene to work with of 75,000 this year.
Yeah,
In the general fund, we have zero budgeted currently
yeah.
for street repair. But you're right, so in the, although I'm talking about general fund, if you go to the street maintenance fund for this year, we have, what was that number again?
For 60,000.
60,000, okay,
Yeah.
very good. So this year, that means we have a, net increase of 15,000? Yeah. All right, and that should be the end of the presentation.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or thing before we let Mr. Prater do his thing?
Got one out? No.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
On this proposed budget, under the general fund,
Can you come to the mic, ma'am? No, you're good, I just want people that are watching on YouTube to hear you.
on the proposed budget worksheet, I can't tell, part of it's cut off, but the middle number is 106204 consulting fee, and you have 168,750.
What page is that?
Page 2 of the,
10.
it says general fund administration.
What's the number on the last one?
1062, what?
Well, the middle number is 10, mine's cut off, and then the last number is 6204.
Oh, 6204, yeah. 1010, 6204.
Oh, 1010, okay. And we haven't used any to date, and we didn't use any last year or the previous year. Why are we budgeting 168,000?
So it's 10, what is it?
62?
6204. It's on page 2 of the admin.
6204, consulting, gotcha, yeah.
The camera?
So, yeah, what did I budget this year in there again?
168,750.
750, it
Right.
shows you.
Right. Here we go.
It doesn't look like we've used any the last 3 years. I was just curious why we put that figure in there.
This is what, page 2?
And last year it was
Yeah.
300.
I know it,
It was
yeah.
budgeted in at 300.
Yeah,
that-
and if we're
No,
not,
this budget year is
Yeah.
300.
For consult,
So that is from the Community Development Block Grant. We got the CBDG grant for doing the comp plan. That was a total of $225,000 award, but they say it's a 2-year process to do the comp plan, and I'm gonna push them to do it quicker. But I confirmed with the team, I said, hey, this next fiscal year, you know, us doing the comp plan, I said, do you guys suspect or expect that we will get about 75% of the comp plan completed? And he said, yes. So I took 75% of the $225,000 grant award for doing a comp plan, meaning we will get 75% of the comp plan done next fiscal year, and then the remaining 25% of the comp plan the following fiscal year,
okay.
complete.
And the people that are doing it are the that's why
it's
it's
a
under
consulting.
consulting.
Yeah, and
under consult.
one thing I want to point out too, that's a great question. Whenever we show in these grant monies, they come in and they go out. Like you'll see like grant monies come in at the front, and then head out in the expensing. So like, for example, on that first page, grant income is 10005021 grant income. It shows 186,750, right, as grant income, and then you flip to the page where consulting is, and then it's expensed at the 178,750. So you see the amount come in revenues, and then you see the same amount go out in expense. It's not. Mm-hmm. What is it?
Is any other grants included in that grant income besides the? community development?
168.
Yes, 186,750.
Oh, is it backwards, right?
750,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we do have some other grants, so I'll check into that, and I'll get,
Seemed like it was just a typo.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
take
it could, it probably was, yep.
Instead of 86.
That's why we look at it, yeah,
Mhm.
that's why we discuss it. Yep.
Yep. It's probably supposed to be 168, so we'll make the adjustments, and I'll get that information out to council.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, anyone? Don't want to miss nobody's hands. Okay, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor? All right, a second? Got a second, and all in favor? All right, they're done. It is now time to go home. It's 3:19 and our, council meeting is now over.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you all, very much so. Okay. This was my day off too, I tell you. I know it. For working Sunday, I got a day off.